Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel, and here's an article from Seeking Alpha written by Jared Whitley, who is a Washington insider, and it's titled the following: Gensler's Crypto Mess. It's time for Congress to teach the SEC what clarity means. And this is an article that was written in September, and I actually came across it thanks to Crypto Law, which of course is attorney John Deaton's organization that he put together. And John Deaton, I'm assuming the vast majority of you are aware, but there's always new subscribers jumping in the XRP space. But I'll clarify. John Deaton is the attorney that's seeking to intervene in the SEC versus Ripple case on behalf of now over 22,000 XRP holders. And I found this article to be absolutely fantastic, striking at the heart of many of the concerns that we've been talking about within the XRP community for the last 9 months, roughly. For as long as this stupid-ass lawsuit has been going on. But before diving in, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related stories and topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. I'll tell you what, I'll almost be a little bit sad when the case is over, because then I'm not going to have as many opportunities to dig into those asshats over at the SEC. I'm only half serious. I'll still always have the opinions that I have, right? But it'll be nice to move on beyond it. Like once there's finally a settlement or full adjudication. And look, I think Ripple's going to be found to be on the right side of history. I will more than welcome that. I think it's going to be fantastic for XRP, the XRP community. It'll probably be absolutely fantastic for Ripple. It'll be fantastic for the entire world of crypto, the world over. And so I just want it to be done, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's dig in. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is playing a ridiculous game with the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry and the millions of investors it claims it's trying to protect. The agency insists there is clarity on the rules it applies to digital assets, but will only communicate them through lawsuits. It tells the best, most innovative U.S. blockchain companies to come in, talk to us, and share the details of their product development line under the false pretense of guidance on being compliant, only to slap them with subpoenas instead. So let's pause right there. Pretty damn clear this is exactly what's happening. The most recent popular example of this would be Coinbase, who wanted to offer what they were calling their Lend product, which would be an opportunity for their customers to have interest-bearing accounts. So basically, the crypto that you own, if you're a customer, Coinbase would take it, lend it out, and then you'd earn interest. And I can't remember what the rates were. I don't know if it was like 4, 5, 6%, whatever it was. It's probably somewhere around there anyway, if memory serves. And there are other entities in the United States already doing this. So it's nothing crazy. And also, if you think about it, like this is what's done with savings accounts already. So like what the hell's functionally the difference? I'd argue that there's not any sort of meaningful difference anyway. Like this type of thing should be allowed. But the SEC told Coinbase, hey, no, if you do this, we're going to slap you with a lawsuit. And then they subpoenaed a bunch of stuff. They were really doing some hard-handed tactics against Coinbase. But then they have this public facade where when Gensler sitting there nice, calmly and articulately stating his position, he says, no, just come in and talk to us, and we'll work with you. No, you get subpoenaed and you get threats of lawsuits. That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. So this idea of clarity, it's completely bogus and disgusting. Anyway, piece continues. Not even the highest priced securities lawyers can tell these companies what compliance looks like with any certainty. It's driving exasperated American innovators overseas and putting our economic future in danger. If previous SEC Chairman Jay Clayton was the most conflicted chairman in history, then, oh, by the way, I'll pause right there. There was an article about that was links to. It was a Motley Fool. Well, they're linking to their own article about it. I could be, maybe I'm wrong, but there was an article from a very popular publication that covered just that. Said he's going to be Jay Clayton be the most conflicted chairman in history, and then this happened, of course. So looks like that was true. But anyway, if previous SEC Chairman Jay Clayton was the most conflicted chairman in history, then Biden's pick, Gary Gensler, is the most clueless. Ever since he was confirmed, he's been saying that the rules on what makes a digital asset a security are clear, and that he's dedicated to protecting investors. But ask any retail digital asset investor, And you'll know that nothing is clear and none of them feels protected by Gensler. Quite the contrary. They see Gensler as the danger they need protection from. It doesn't even help to register your blockchain enterprise with the SEC to list it on the stock market. Coinbase, the leading crypto exchange platform, went public earlier this year and subjected itself to the full SEC cavity search. It competes with many non-listed blockchain companies offering lending products who haven't faced any enforcement action from the SEC. Coinbase's CEO Brian Armstrong shared his proposed lending product with Gensler's people, and they warned him if he started offering it, they'd drag him into court unless he registered the offerings as securities. He asked for guidance on why, and they refused to answer. So let's pause. Let's say Coinbase just did. They're like, okay, well, you could be wondering, like, why not? Well, okay, just play ball. The other ones, they're not registering. Why not Coinbase just registers so they can launch the project? Because then there's not a level playing field. There are all sorts of costs associated with this, and it would affect the timeliness of transactions, among other things. No, this is not reasonable, and this is not fair. And so the piece continues. A Wells notice followed, which is how the SEC warns you a lawsuit is coming. This behavior by the SEC was so shocking that some of Coinbase's fiercest competitors rose to its defense. Yeah, so good. By the way, good to see that because they realize they're next. Oh, absolutely. And this is why it's been actually kind of refreshing to see, at least lately, even some of the most ardent Ripple and XRP haters out there, they've been coming around to understand, okay, Ripple and XRP, maybe let's not be so harsh. Because if you go back to December, a lot of people were celebrating the fact the SEC was coming after them, but now finally it feels like they're starting to get it. Wait a minute, I'm next. So it's a rather selfish way of coming about recognizing it's a bad idea to be against, or to be genuinely happy that the SEC is going after XRP and Ripple. Kind of like a backwards way of going about recognizing, oh, this is bad, but it's for selfish interest. But you know what? I'll just freaking take it at this point. Because the people that are ideologically opposed to Ripple and XRP at this point, I don't think that they're living in reality. I don't think they're interested in logic and facts. I think they're just ideologically opposed because they have a certain idea about how they think and they think the world should work, and all the dangers and this and that. And I'm not down with their ideology on this stuff. I think that's really what it is. But anyway, piece continues. The where was I? Right up here. Oh, maybe this was the part. The Coinbase. Yeah, I think it was this part. Sorry, guys, I lost my spot. The Coinbase episode recalls the lawsuit the SEC filed last year against Ripple, the blockchain company that offers a cross-border payment solution to banks using XRP, a token operating on an open-source decentralized ledger, which is the XRP ledger, XRPL for short. The XRP token is used as a bridge currency for international payments that settle in seconds, and a product that could disrupt and eventually replace the slow, expensive, and antiquated SWIFT networks. I accidentally said it plural. I did not mean that. Singular networks. Singular SWIFT network. There's not more than one. Oh, thank God there's not more than one. Anyway. Moon Lambo channel, everybody. I lost my spot again. How does this keep happening? It's because I'm scrolling down and then I start talking and then I'm not thinking about it. That's why. Anyway, the SEC alleges not only that all of Ripple's sales of XRP were unregistered securities trades, but all sales of XRP by anyone have been unregistered securities trades, but all sales of XRP by anyone have been securities trades from 2013 to the present day, and the token itself is a security. This wild argument in court sent exchanges scrambling to suspend XRP trading for fear of SEC retaliation and wiped out billions of dollars in value to retail holders of the token. It also puzzled a lot of other companies who built projects on the XRP ledger, where their products use and burn portions of XRP tokens with each transaction. As they struggle to understand how to comply with the SEC, many ask how a token that is partially burned with use on a ledger could be registered like a stock. What is especially galling to these investors is that Gensler used to teach courses on blockchain technology at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT for short, which will sound more familiar to most of you, I think. So he gets how the technology works. Now, nobody in crypto seems to know how all these digital assets would be registered like company shares given the complexities of the technology. it raises a million additional questions that the SEC won't answer. It's a safe bet that if you ask Gensler how to register XRP as a stock, it'll earn you a raid on your offices and millions of dollars in legal fees. But hey, eventually is everything is awfully clear, right? Right, Gary? Well, some in Congress are finally starting to lose patience with Gensler, and it was evident this week in a Senate Banking Committee oversight hearing where he was grilled on his ridiculous notion of regulatory clarity in quotation marks. Senator Pat Toomey, Republican Pennsylvania, the ranking Republican, asked Gensler why the SEC hasn't published the rules if they are so clear to everyone. And here's a quote. "We certainly shouldn't be taking enforcement action against somebody without having first provided that clarity." That's what Toomey said. Now, that makes logical sense to anybody listening to this, right? And here's the thing about this, too. If you think about what Gensler said before he became SEC chair, he's singing a different tune now, man. He absolutely is. He's lying. I'm just going to say, he is not saying things that he believes to be true. His purpose now is different now that he's SEC chair. It's to defend the organization he's in charge of, which will also affect his legacy and all that. And so it has changed the degree to which he's being intellectually honest about crypto. Because he admitted in 2018 that there wasn't sufficient clarity in the crypto space, including for Ripple. I shared the video clip. I transcribed it. I covered it on this channel. He specifically cited Ripple and said there isn't sufficient clarity. Yet he's running the SEC now and not dropping the case, because if there's not sufficient clarity for Ripple, that speaks to their fair notice defense. The case shouldn't exist. Gary Gensler is not being ethical and honest. Period. Really grinds my gears, folks. Really grinds my gears. And here's another quote from Toomey. "Why wait to make the SEC's views known only when it swoops in with an enforcement action, in some cases years after the product was launched? This is regulation by enforcement, and it's very objectionable." Truer words have never been spoken, my friends. Gensler's response to Toomey was telling. He stressed that his power comes from a 1933 statute and a 1946 Supreme Court ruling that established the so-called heavy test on defining a security offering. He bragged that the SEC has been very innovative over the last century on how to apply those moth-eaten standards to every product under the sun, even whiskey cases, he added effusively. In short, the only innovation Gensler wants to preserve is in his litigation suite, where the SEC's lawyers can concoct every kind of insane lawsuit imaginable and drive a $2 trillion industry out of the United States. It's time for the adults in the room to stand up and fix this with legislation. We need American companies like Ripple and Coinbase to lead the fintech revolution on our behalf, not against our own government. Golf clap. Golf clap for Jared Whitley, who wrote this piece. Absolutely right there. That is fantastic. I am so thankful that people are talking about this stuff. I'm so thankful mainstream media is increasingly taking note of this monstrous case, highly consequential case in the form of Charles Gasparino, journalist with Fox Business Network, thoroughly covering this, actually digging into all of it. It's incredible to see this. I wish attention to this degree would have happened sooner, and I wish there was more of it. But as time passes, it's going to be that much more impossible to avoid. And so I think other networks and other mainstream media outlets will increasingly cover this. But that's where we're at right now. And I'll wrap up. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.